Break out of the chaos.
Hello guys, it's Debbie. It's time. I've got a brand new location. 10510 Airline Highway, Baton Rouge, next to After 5 Tuxedos. We have the perfect spot to get all your wedding and formal wear needs. Come see our one-of-a-kind name brand and get great prices. With 30 years experience, the best customer service anywhere. It's Debbie's Bridal, Airline Highway, Baton Rouge. See you soon.
Getting a letter from the IRS that you owe back taxes can be scary, but it doesn't have to be. Call Go Tax Resolution in Lafayette at 337-420-1040 today. We'll help stop garnishments, levies, and seizures immediately. With over 35 years of dealing directly with the IRS, our team of local professionals will help you pay the least amount possible. So if you owe back taxes to the IRS, you need help. Call the tax professionals at Go Tax Resolution in Lafayette at 337-420-1040. Your go-to tax relief.
Hi, business owners. Phase 3. Woohoo! But do your customers know you're back? Well, that's where the Clarence Bug Show and Pelican Broadcasting can help. Right now, we've got great rates on advertising packages to help you get the word out. Shoot me an email at bugsclarence@gmail.com. Or better yet, call me up. I'd love to talk with you. 225-485-6839. Let's get together and make Phase 3 the best it can possibly be. Hello and welcome to week 1 of the 2020 edition of the Roger Cador Show. Clarence, Bugs, and the Coach. Well, before we get started, Coach, let's talk little COVID-19. You're here, you're smiling, you got the hat on, you're looking good. How are you these days, man?
Life is good. Life is good.
Yeah, so you all adjusted to the new norms that everybody's dealing with, the social distancing and the mask and all of that kind of stuff?
I'm doing it. It's not easy, but I'm doing it because as I listen to the professionals, the doctor and the people who knows all about this stuff,
right?
They said it's not that much longer. We've got this vaccine that's coming out. It's going to make life so much better. If we could hold on just a little longer. We've held on this long, just a little longer.
So are you one of the people that, even with a mask on, everywhere you go, people still know it's Roger?
They know somebody who look like me.
And of course, if they know you like I know you, once they start talking to you and the hands start doing all this, yeah, that's Roger. That's got to be Roger. Let's start with LSU football. Alabama comes to town, and once again, in no uncertain terms, lets everybody know who the big dog is in the SEC.
Well, you know, they've done a really good job of playing in Nick Saban era. I mean, they never seem to, no matter how many people they lose, underclassmen to the pros, they always reload looking like and come back real strong. I mean, I think they lost so many players off of that offense last year. I mean, they lost all of those players, and look how powerful they are again this year. Yeah. So it's just a testament to the kind of recruiter that Nick Saban is, and the players want to go there and play for him.
Now, that's a perfect segue to the next question. Alabama never seems to have to rebuild the way LSU does. They simply reload. Over the last 4 or 5 years, well, ever since the Ed Orgeron era, we've had a top 5 recruiting class every single year. So what's the difference between Alabama and LSU? We've got the talent, but we lose a bunch, they lose a bunch, they reload, we've got to rebuild. What's the disparity there?
I want to go back, step back that I didn't mention about Alabama. Every year they lose 2, 3, 4 coaches. Right. They lose coaches every year. And he's able to find that right fit because of his system. That his system and the way he managed people. I mean, he demands a lot. Let's put it that way.
yeah.
He demands a great deal, and I think people go in there knowing that that life is going to be in Nick Saban's hand. Case in point, with COVID-19, and you have to do Zoom, Nick Saban now has more control over his coaches because now he can look with Zoom. He can know where they are in that office. Are they working?
Right.
And that's really what someone mentioned to me. Say Nick Saban has so much control. Them guys are working so many hours to try and make sure that they prepare his team. You see, and that's really the kind of demand now. It's not a healthy demand because people have families that they need to attend to.
Yeah.
And mothers, they have wives, and their daddy need to be there with the kids at some point to help out a little. You got me?
Right.
So that's the downside of that kind of stuff I don't like, because somebody is suffering because of his demand. Now, as we say, LSU has had the last 4 years or 5 years a top 5 recruiting class.
Right.
Everybody's different. I mean, you know what I'm saying? When LSU for 4 or 5 years, and when Les Miles was there and Ed Ogeron, they had a lot of people drafted. Team ball is a little different. You can have all these pros, but they don't necessarily play good team ball.
Right.
But what is happening now this year is just unacceptable by the people who's paying all those high price tickets. They're not going to take this. And I love Baby Ogeron. But boy, I tell you, this doesn't look good.
Tell you what, we're going to get our first break of this show out of the way. When we come back, we will look at some LSU Bama highlights as week 1 of the 2020 edition of the Coach Roger Cador Show continues. Stay close.
Got termites? Get Premier Pest. PremierPestServices.com.
Hey, Coach Roger Cador here. There's something about teamwork that brings the best out in any business. When I need a tow, I call Roadrunner Towing. Roadrunner's 4 generations strong and homegrown right here in Baton Rouge.
Thanks, Coach. There's no job too large or too small. Call Roadrunner for quick, reliable, exceptional service. We don't want an arm and a leg. We just want your toes. And remember, take time each day to be a blessing to someone. Thank you.
Looking to get some keys made, locks rekeyed, or a wide variety of new and used safe? Then look no further than the trusted choice of Alfred Safe and Lock. Conveniently located off of Government Street in Mid-City, Baton Rouge. Trust the expert locksmith at Alfred for all of your residential, commercial, and industrial lock and safe needs. Trusted by Baton Rouge and me, Roger Cador, to protect what is yours since 1946.
Surprise, something good has finally happened in 2020. Yours truly, the Clarence Bugg Show, gets to be with you every day of the week. That's right, 11 to 12 every weekday. And of course, the Exiles right in front of yours truly from 10 to 11, yours truly 11 to 12. So now it's appointment viewing. 5 days a week here on the Pelican. The Clarence Bugg Show. The only thing missing is you.
From appetizers, pasta dishes, and entrees, La Cantea takes pride in preparing all the Italian cuisine we know you love. Enjoy live music every Thursday through Saturday from 6 to 9, happy hour weekdays from 3 to 6, and brunch on Sundays from 11 to 2, as well as dinner portion-sized lunch specials for under $10. Visit our website to view our menu and book a party or meeting in our large banquet room. Once you try La Cantea, your Italian dining will change forever.
Caught spiders? Premier Pest Services.
Welcome back to week one of the 2020 edition of the Coach Roger Cador Show. Coach, I'm watching the LSU-Alabama game, and the thing that struck me early on, we didn't do the little things well. Two things that come to mind. One, 4th and inches, keeping it a close game. We didn't get inches. Then we finally get to the point where we score, and fortunately, the officials weren't paying attention. Young man catches the long pass, going for a touchdown, drops the ball to celebrate before crossing the goal line. On an average team, that'll kill you, much less against the best team in the nation.
Yeah, Butte, that freshman, number 1, dropped that ball, but fortunately, the senior saw that and came from, I watched the replay, and he came from a long distance, grabbed the ball, and took it across. That's why you need seniors. You see, because they watch it. But Butte should have known better. Go in the end zone and then throw the ball away if you want to.
Yeah. To me, that's a showboating kind of thing, and that's where you find yourself getting in trouble, when you want to showboat more than you want to do the basics the way you should.
Or put the team first.
Right.
The team needed momentum. They needed the momentum, and you got to do it and then try to. I mean, but listen, having coached for 40 years, I know how young people are.
Yeah.
So, they'll do things, and they're more prone to doing it now.
Oh,
because
yeah.
they want to be on social media or make a highlight reel or something.
As we watch the highlights, knowing what Alabama had and knowing what LSU lost from last year's team, what do you think the Tigers' mindset was going into this game, Coach?
Well, listen, I've coached teams that knew they were playing a team that was better than them, and they probably didn't feel that good.
Right.
Plus, they didn't have the advantage of that crowd. The normal crowd.
Well, yeah.
100,000 people yelling and screaming. And they knew they had a young quarterback, got a freshman. They knew their offensive line is not playing that good, and they knew that defense is terrible. And I'm being blunt when I say that. That should not be. That defense should not be this bad.
Right.
I mean, when you look at that defensive back running after guys, everybody's behind the defensive backs.
Yeah.
There's Butte there, I think, right there. Look, drop it. Look at it.
Tigers.
Good thing number 13 came in and picked that ball up.
And good thing Alabama's defense wasn't paying attention.
Well, the one guy who could have seen it ran out of bounds after he couldn't get Butte. So that was another good run by the running back.
Tigers!
So, they had a couple of bright spots, but they just couldn't. Look at Butte doing a good job. There you go, Butte. You got it just in front of the guy. Didn't try to do too much.
We watch here 650 yards the defense gave up. How much work does Bo Pelini still have to do? And how much of this was because, after all, you're playing Alabama?
Yeah. Well, doesn't matter if you're playing Alabama, 650
That's a whole lot of yards.
You got to cut that in half. And again, people are just not going to accept this from a team that just won the national championship and accustomed to being competitive. I mean, they're just not going to do it. And if I was paying the kind of ticket prices, I probably would be jumping up and down a tab.
Now, we all know that LSU fans are probably some of, if not the most fickle fans on the planet. Does COVID-19 make this any easier to deal with, since we don't have every week 100,000 plus in the stands, another 30, 40,000 out tailgating. Does this kind of make it a little easier or harder to swallow?
It's easier for the coaching staff and the players.
Yeah, you don't have to hear the booze for 100,000
people. A guy had a few
people.
cocktails, may say a few words you don't want to hear.
Right.
So you don't get to hear it. And so I think in that part, that makes it a little easier. But it's still, the kids want to win, and they work hard. They work hard to try and be successful. And I do know that. So, it's just that, they got to do some things better and organize a little better, because from a coaching standpoint, when I look at it, I'm not a football coach, but you got to put kids in a better situation to be successful. I always told my assistant coaches, don't ask players to do something they can't do.
Right.
Understand that.
Yeah.
Because you put him in a position to fail. If he could do the A-B and he's got value, let's work with his A-B and try to make him good at that.
Yep.
So that's really, as I look, and that's what I'm seeing, maybe they're asking some of those kids to do something they're just not going to be able to do. Not against the kind of talent they're playing against.
When we come back, the lone bright spot for us here in South Louisiana, the Saints, 9 in a row and clinching a spot in the playoffs. That's next on week 1 of the 2020 edition of the Coach Roger Cador Show. Stay close.
Getting a letter from the IRS that you owe back taxes can be scary, but it doesn't have to be. Call Go Tax Resolution in Lafayette at 337-420-1040 today. We'll help stop garnishments, levies, and seizures immediately. With over 35 years of dealing directly with the IRS, our team of local professionals will help you pay the least amount possible. So if you owe back taxes to the IRS, you need help. Call the tax professionals at Go Tax Resolution in Lafayette at 337-420-1040. Your go-to tax relief.
Hi, I'm Hurricane Betsy Barnes.
And I'm Dr. Kay Siller with The Rocket Right Show.
We are two busy blondes on the go showing off life in Louisiana.
Watch us on Pelican Sports Network.
And Talk 107.3 FM. Check local listings for times.
Hello guys, it's Debbie. It's time. I've got a brand new location. 10510 Airline Highway, Baton Rouge, next to After 5 Tuxedos. We have the perfect spot to get all your wedding and formal wear needs. Come see our one-of-a-kind name brand and get great prices. With 30 years experience, the best customer service anywhere. It's Debbie's Bridal, Airline Highway, Baton Rouge. See you soon.
Surprise, something good has finally happened in 2020. Yours truly, the Clarence Bug Show, gets to be with you every day of the week. That's right, 11 to 12 every weekday. And of course, the Exiles right in front of yours truly from 10 to 11, yours truly 11 to 12. So now it's appointment viewing. 5 days a week here on the Pelican. The Clarence Bug Show. The only thing missing is you.
Break out of the chaos.
Get 0.9% financing for 60 months on every new 21 Mazda, plus 90 days deferred payments during the season of inspiration at Baton Rouge's Mazda dealer, Team Mazda on Airline.
Welcome back to week 1 of the 2020 edition of the Roger Cador Show. Coach, let's talk a little black and gold as we roll the highlights from the Saints and Falcons this past weekend. Obviously, the Saints winning their 9th in a row, but more important, they clinch a playoff spot.
Yeah, and they did it without their leader, Drew Brees. Hill did enough to get them by. He ran the ball well. But the one thing that went missing in this game is the line, offensive line. The job they did, giving him time where he could pass. And I tell you, Michael Thomas is really the real deal.
Oh, yeah.
You get a ball in his area, he catches it.
As a matter of fact, speaking of Michael Thomas, he got career catch number 500, becoming the first player in the history of the game to get 500 catches in only 67 games. Prior to that, Julio Jones and Anquan Bolden were tied for that record, but it took them 80 games. He did it in 67. That guy truly is the real deal.
He really is. I mean, it's like he's got glue. And when that ball is thrown, he put his hand on it. Usually it doesn't come out.
This will mark the 4th year in a row that the Saints have made the playoffs. That's a first for this franchise, making the playoffs 4 years in a row. Does this mean that the franchise has, quote, officially arrived?
Well, they got a good coach who's devised a really good system. Why am I saying that? Well, you know, Drew Brees went out last year, and Teddy Bridgewater came in, took him there. This year, Drew Brees go out, and Hill is doing a really good job of getting them through.
Yeah.
And I think here's a coach that is not asking a player to do something he can't do.
Good point.
He's allowing him to do what got him here. And I tell you, it's so beautiful to see that. And I don't understand why more people don't come up with, say, why don't we not? We know the guy's not going to be a pocket passer. Why don't we move the pocket and let him run some and then throw some? And if you make him stand in the pocket, he's not going to be effective.
The defense made it easier for Taysom because they were on the spot when they needed to be. And nothing can put a quarterback more at ease than knowing the fact I don't have to carry the whole team just on my shoulders.
Yeah, the defense have done such a good job all year long. I mean, they haven't given up a whole bunch of points. They keep pressure on the quarterback. They seal the ends. They're able to take away the big plays that teams are getting. So they force team to go the distance, eat up the clock, which helps the offense.
Adam Schefter, reporting for ESPN, saying that Drew Brees is on track to play as early as Week 14 against Philadelphia. Do you play him, or do you give him that extra week so that you don't re-aggravate that injury and lose him for Kansas City and the stretch run?
Can I make you the coach, Clarence? You make that decision. No, I wouldn't probably play him. A rib injury is nothing to play with. I mean, it doesn't take much to mess it up again. So another week probably will do him some good.
All right, final break of today's show. We'll get this puppy out of the way, come back and put that big old pretty bow on it, and wrap up week 1 of the 2020 edition of the Coach Roger Cador Show. Stay close.
Coach Clarence Bell.
Got termites? Get Premier Pest. PremierPestServices.com.
Looking to get some keys made, locks rekeyed, or a wide variety of new and used safe? Then look no further than the trusted choice of Alfred Safe & Lock. Conveniently located off of Government Street in Mid-City, Baton Rouge. Trust the expert locksmith at Alfred for all of your residential, commercial, and industrial lock and safe needs. Trusted by Baton Rouge and me, Roger Cador, to protect what is yours since 1946.
Surprise, something good has finally happened in 2020. Yours truly, the Clarence Bugg Show, gets to be with you every day of the week. That's right, 11 to 12 every weekday. And of course, the Exiles right in front of yours truly from 10 to 11, yours truly 11 to 12. So now it's appointment viewing. 5 days a week here on the Pelican. The Clarence Bugg Show. The only thing missing is you.
Hey, Coach Roger Cador here. There's something about teamwork that brings the best out in any business. When I need a tow, I call Roadrunner Towing. Roadrunner's 4 generations strong and homegrown right here in Baton Rouge.
Thanks, Coach. There's no job too large or too small. Call Roadrunner for quick, reliable, exceptional service. We don't want an arm and a leg. We just want your toes. And remember, take time each day to be a blessing to someone. Thank you.
Caught spiders? Premier Pest Services.
Welcome back to the final segment of week 1 of the 2020 edition of the Coach Roger Cador Show. I got to ask you this. I said time permitting I would, then again, maybe not. But what the heck? You're a big boy. You got your big boy hat on. You can handle it. Kerrick Jackson taking a job with Major League Baseball and moving on from Southern University. I signed the petition already. Bring back Roger. We want Pete. You going back? Would you consider it?
Only if Marty and Alan come and be my assistant coaches. How about that?
All right, fair enough.
Coach Banks have put one of my former players, Chris Crenshaw, as the interim.
Mm-hmm.
So he'll be taking over. I met with him last week, and I'm excited for him, you know. And so we went over some things that he needs to look for.
Right.
But, you know, I'm happy.
That's got to be a proud papa moment for Roger Cador to have a guy that's a former player be in a position to take over the program.
Yeah, that's, you know, that is a proud moment, but I also know it's not going to be easy.
Mm-hmm.
I pretty much told him that. I said, this program, they put a lot of demand on people, and I said, you know, so be prepared for some of the stuff that's, you know, people going to be asking of you, you know.
Speaking of being prepared for things that people ask you, we've only got about a minute left. Deion Sanders and Jackson State. He's got his work cut out for him, doesn't he?
Yeah, and he's 22 scholarships down, and you know, he was trying to get the people in academics to help him out with some scholarship, and they're trying to stop. I said, they should have known when they hired Deion that he wanted to win at all costs, literally, not cheat,
right?
But win,
right.
And he's a winner, and that he doesn't take no for an answer.
Mm-hmm.
You see, he's going to try to get players. Now he needs money to get them in.
Mm-hmm.
You got me?
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, they're saying, you got to know when you hire someone like him. He ain't sitting down. He's a doer.
Yeah.
You know, so we'll see what happens.
Well, the good news is we are not going to have to wait all that long to find out. Fortunately for him, because of COVID, with the season being pushed back from the fall to the spring, it'll give him a little extra time to get acclimated and get the things in place that he hopes will return Jackson State to a place of prominence. That's going to do it for week 1 of the 2020 edition of the Roger Cador Show. I'm Clarence Buggs. We'll see you next week. Same time, same station. Go Jacks.